Hello, everybody, and welcome back. BJ here from BJ Drinks Beer, joined by
Danger Ginger. How's it going, everybody?
and this is our SPO review show. But just so we keep it fair, we keep it clean, and everything. We brought in a ref to referee this show. So let me bring in our favorite referee, Chef the Ref.
Greetings, everyone. Chef the Ref calling it right down the middle here tonight on the SPO wrap-up show.
That's not what I cash apped you for.
Well, I told you, I never got the Venmo.
You got my cash, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Cash is always king.
So, amazing show last night, fellas.
100%.
Absolutely loved every match. My voice is still super hoarse. It was rough. There was a lot of chanting. There was a lot of yelling. It was, of course, that's any SPO show. In fact, that's most SPOcasts that I'm watching at home. But yeah, thoughts on the show just before we get into everything, just as a whole.
Oh, the show from top to bottom was amazing. High energy the entire night. Like to sit there and almost pick, if you were to try to pick what match stole the show, it's almost like the show stole all the matches.
Top to bottom, it was a very entertaining card. Being front row, we got so much action right in front of us. It was incredible.
God, yeah, did we ever? But we'll get to that though. Hello, Alex the Beer Master. He says cheers to everybody.
What's going on, Alex? Hope everything's going good with you.
Just again, I can't get over just how amazing. Even though what I thought was going to happen for a lot of matches didn't end up happening, but
BJ did get called out on that.
I did. We'll get to that as well.
We will.
Definitely a couple surprises of stuff that I really didn't expect, and a couple twisted turns. But regardless, the future is looking bright for SPO right now after last night.
And a couple things that were announced that were to happen that didn't, but not a big deal.
Card always subject to change.
Yeah, and it said that right there on the bottom. I think you can see it if you look real close at the left-hand side of your screen there on the flyer.
What do I look like reading the fine print?
You look like a man with glasses.
And it still didn't help.
All right, well, why don't we just start right off at the top of the show here? We got Primal Fear versus the Rep. Danger Ginger, what did you think of this match overall?
Overall, that match delivered. 100%. Both teams came out there and put on a great show. Like, it was two guys with speed and straight going up against guys who are just brute power.
BJ, I know that you were conflicted coming into this match. Now, where was your head watching this whole thing happen?
I mean, I was chanting Primal Fear the whole time, but in my heart, I kind of had an idea that they were going to take this one. I was there for it if they did, though. The Rep are just dominant. They're hungry. They want those belts back, and they're going to work their way up to get back to that spot.
Excuse me.
Now, speaking of the Rep, they are just a massive powerhouse of a team. As you said, they are hungry. They're coming for it. They want those SPO titles back off of the backseat boys. Now, where do they go after such a dominant victory, you have to say, over Primal Fear?
I even said during our prediction show that the winners of this match are most likely going to be number one contenders and get an opportunity at the backseats at some point down the road.
Do they get that immediately?
Maybe.
Well, we could get into that more later, where the Rep stands in chasing down those tag team titles at the moment.
This is true, and we might have a little bit of an idea of where the Rep might be going next. So now, BJ, where does Primal Fear go after this? They've got another loss on the record now. They need another rebound after this. They need to come back and fight stronger, right?
I mean, and that's all they do. They're in the gym 7 days a week. They're wrestling, I don't know, probably 3-4 days a week. I mean, these guys are absolute beasts, and they're only going to get better, man. They're still young guys, and they got a ton to give. These guys are, I mean, these guys I feel like could be a huge name at some point.
And I mean, even the ending to that match, it was almost out of nowhere, that ending, because it was one mistake. They made one mistake in that match, and it cost them the match. That is how quick things can turn.
It did. But you have to say, the rep did look fairly dominant throughout the entire match.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
there were certain points where it went the other way, like when David McCall almost caught me in the face with his legs getting dumped out the ring. The first
that was a close one.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of a matrix move there, but that's why I sit front row, and that's what I'm there for.
You are the Danger Ginger.
Yep, for good reason.
Gilbert taking the dive on me here. Not the first one he's taken. Won't be the last. But more on Gilbert later. We maybe. I don't know. He was at the show.
Yeah.
He obviously did sign that right there for me. Nice guy. Good of him.
Great guy. Great guy. It was awesome to get to talk to him, and not just that, get to hold that light heavyweight championship belt, because that's holding a piece of history. And it was just
absolutely
so awesome. But I love that he also knew who I was. Not to put myself over or anything, but
no one puts Danger Ginger over like Danger Ginger.
Well, somebody has to.
All right, let's move on to match number 2 here. We have Bufa AO coming all the way over from China to face Hyena Heck. And
well, not just from
Bufa
China,
had a
from
whole
all
entourage that came out with him, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
It's quite the entourage, including someone of some note. We had Todd Rod Newton, who plays the wonderful rerun from What's Happening. He was performing. Where was that he was performing?
Last week at the Apollo.
The Apollo, right?
Oh, no way, right?
So, yeah. Bufa, he is legit. He has some connections out there. BJ, what were your thoughts getting to see Bufa for the first time in months in SPO?
I mean, it's been a while, and all I remembered from seeing him was like he had some skill. He was high energy. You know what I mean? He had moves, and he got the crowd hype, and that's exactly what he did. And let me just say, if this would have been the announced match, I would have been chanting for Bufa the whole time. This did not end up being the announced match.
It was originally Bufa versus Philly Mike, but as you know, card is always subject to change.
Yes, yeah.
Still got me all excited to see Philly Mike.
Yeah, but you know what? It was just as exciting to see somebody like Hyena Hex in the ring.
And Danger Ginger, you've got some personal experience with Hyena Hex from the previous show where he was a little bit of a sore loser and grabbed your hat and tossed it to the ground. But this performance here seems to have maybe gained a little bit of your favor.
Maybe, who knows? You know, that's all on him. But right now, with how that match played out, there was definitely a sign of respect at the end between them two.
There was.
Like, they put on a great match. Like, and Bufa's been doing this, 20 years now? Traveling the world.
Right.
And
all over the world.
Yeah, Hyena Hex is up and coming. And
yeah, he's a young guy.
And he was right there holding his own that entire match.
Yep, right there with him. Looked great.
I feel like with another 20 pounds of muscle, he might be a threat.
Definitely.
And I'm digging Hyena Hex. I see the potential there. I see this kid's got talent, and he's got a gimmick going. He just needs to bulk up a little bit.
Dude, I absolutely love the wolf mask. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Hyena mask.
Yes,
awesome.
Yeah,
that makes a bit more sense, I guess. What do I know? And now, that was such high energy. And Bufa, being as long as he's been in the game, and still doing some of them high-risk moves, like that jumping off the top rope and hitting that X Factor style move.
That was fantastic.
Absolutely great. And everybody loves him.
So I forgot to ask, who did you pick for the Primal Fear rep match?
Danger
Do you remember?
Ginger.
Oop, excuse me.
I believe I picked the rep.
Okay, so we both
But
picked rep. And you're both right.
I could have picked Primal Fear though, because that was one of those ones to where there's going to be times now where I'm probably going to flip a coin and be like, all right, that's who's winning.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like it might have been a clash of styles, but it was a good clash of styles.
Definitely, without a doubt. Anyway, back to Hex and Boofa.
Yeah. So at the end of the Hex and Boofa match, as we said, Boofa showed respect to the young guy coming up in Hyena Hex. But as he was offering that respect and they were starting to get along, out comes calculated Kurt Robinson to spoil the party.
Shocking, right?
Yeah. Danger Ginger, what were your thoughts seeing him just come out, interrupt everything, just being the general party pooper?
Oh, I mean, being a party pooper is one thing, but I think he was kind of jealous of the match they put on out there that could have potentially stolen the show last night. And
Definitely.
that him being calculated Kurt Robinson, that's him living up to the name, right? He knew what he was doing going out there. There's a big moment going on, and why shouldn't he insert himself and be a part of it?
BJ, you've got a point?
I forget.
Fair point.
I like answered my own question in my head. I'm sorry.
So, but Kurt Robinson also had another calculation that he made in bringing out one of the OGs from Philly in HC Loke. Now,
Absolute
this was
legend.
Yes, absolute legend in HC Loke. He was respected as such when he first came out, but then, he starts talking badly about the crowd, turns him against him.
He can't help himself.
He can't help himself. It's just what he does. So, BJ, what do you think about this calculation that Kurt Robinson made here, bringing out HC Loke? What do you think his play was here?
I mean, I guess he had the right idea, but let's just say at the end of the match, all I could say was I think he would have won if it was a one-on-one.
If it was. But Kurt Robinson, maybe a miscalculation here for this match, which was a tag match with Homeless Vaughn and his partner Charlie Tiger. Danger Ginger, Homeless Vaughn. This is, I believe, his first win in SPO coming this way. What did you see in him and Charlie Tiger? What did Charlie Tiger maybe help to bring out of Homeless Vaughn this time that maybe wasn't there before?
Maybe it was a little for him to be a bit more aggressive and focused on what was going on. When we saw him at Uneffing Necessary, there was still a lot of fanfare. To where there was still some fanfare, but you could see it was a more serious thing. Now, with HC Loke there, you gotta be serious. Like, we're talking about a man who feels perfectly at home in a street fight.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
there's no doubt about that. And just Charlie Tiger, like, you get around him, that energy is kind of infectious,
He is a giant ball of energy.
No pun intended.
And I mean, quite literally, you gotta keep him caged. Like, Homeless Vaughn had to go back behind the curtain to bring him out in the said tiger cage.
Released him from the cage.
Which eventually got destroyed during the match.
Sure did.
Oh, it was shortly after he got out of it, right?
Not too long after. No, it was a couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, at one point he had it lifted up over his head, ready to throw it at people. And,
security had to protect the crowd on that one.
Yeah. One of a few times.
It was a busy night for security, to say the least.
It was. Definitely was. So, our next match we had after that, we move on to a newcomer to SPO from Newark. We've got Miss Tasha Steeles coming in to challenge Christina Marie for the women's SPO title. Now, Christina,
I thought she was from Bricks.
Newark, Brick City. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Christina, obviously, Jim Molyneux in her corner as her manager. She's been on a tear with him, and everyone pretty much expected her to keep on this tear, especially with Molyneux in the building. BJ, what do you think happened?
Uh, the
Did-
run that they've been on was never going to last. You can't get away with that kind of thing forever, you know. And it
Interesting.
caught up to them, you know. Yeah.
Danger Ginger, you agree with that assessment, or do you think that maybe Tasha was just that much better and Christina just underestimated her some?
No, I wouldn't say Christina Marie underestimated Tasha Steelz. They had a plan coming into that match, and it's been the same plan they've had since she won the title. Which even then, I'm on record as saying that the ref should never grab the chain or the knucks during the cage match because it was a cage match. There are no rules, but that's neither here nor there. We are now here, and what was to be expected, right? They do all this stuff, and now she's going up against somebody who has experience in the big time. Tasha Steelz is a current TNA knockout.
She is.
She has been all around the globe doing this stuff, you know. Christina Marie.
I was impressed.
Yeah. Christina Marie's still early in her career, and she still has it as the first ever SPO women's champion. That's history right there, regardless. You know, but
And
when
I
it came
just
to go ahead.
I just
What do
like
you
to
got,
add,
BJ?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Christina fired Molyneux right in front of us.
She did, indeed. After she lost the match, she was so hot that she turned to Molyneux and said, not just said, screamed, "You're fired."
So, what comes of Molyneux now? You think we'll see him again? I mean, he was the commissioner. He worked his way down to a manager. You know what I mean? Do you think?
I'm not sure managing Christina Marie is working her way down necessarily.
But
from commissioner?
I mean, he was kind of forced to step out of the role too, because we could see how things were going impartial to begin with.
Definitely.
You know, like there was a plan there, and the plan worked all the way up to last night. Last night, and even to say when he threw those knucks into the ring to her, at that point he kind of should have stepped down and let her do what she does best. Now, I would also like to say that she doesn't need him. She's good enough.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
Whether she wants to be in there winning titles in a controversial way or just cleanly winning them. She doesn't need his help.
No, Christina is definitely on a level of her own in SPO, although Tasha has now come and claimed her own spot on that level. So, who's
the question
Tasha?
Is,
What's the question there, BJ?
Who's the challenger? Who's going to step up?
That's just what I was about to ask. Who is the next challenger for Tasha Steelz?
I mean,
there's no one
in all honesty, I would like to see a rematch.
A rematch would be good.
Because with the way the match ended, even though she's the one who lost the title, there is something to say that his decisions did cost her that championship.
That's a fair point.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. I'd like to see a fair one.
You know, like run it back one more time. And this time it'll be on the level. And it'll put her on her own. Not without anybody's help. She'll have to figure it out on her own. And I think she can do it. I think her depending on using those knucks at the end is what cost her the match. Yeah. Let that go.
Christina has some skills that she could actually exploit if she wasn't trying to just wait for Molyneux to bring in those knuckles and just finish the fight that way.
Yeah, I mean, she's been out there winning on TV in different promotions.
Yeah.
You know, like, she has a skill.
I'll definitely say Tasha, props to her for beating her and winning that championship, was definitely probably one of my top shocking moments of last night, because you know, I thought that Christina Marie, by hook or crook, would retain that
What'd you call it?
championship.
Yep. Yeah, I figured with
Um,
Molyneux in the house, there was no way Christina could lose.
We both called it.
We were
both
proven
called
wrong.
Christina. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking because I was just starting to get used to, like, yeah, she cheats, but she's our cheater. You know, if you're not cheating, you're not winning, or you're not trying to win.
I
Yeah,
almost
that
thought
is-
you were going to go the MJF route there. Oh, he's our dirtbag. He's our scumbag.
Speaking
No,
of our
there are a couple
scumbags.
people-
Speaking of our
Perfect
scumbags,
segue.
how about Blackout? Robbie Illuminati and Ruckus coming
Oh,
on
my
out,
Goodness.
harassing the mayor of Chester still. When is
And-
Robbie going to get over this? When is he going to get over it?
Wait,
The mayor of Chester and Hank, just such energy that giving out candy to the kids. I mean, he really had a swagger to him. He really knew how to work the mic.
Absolutely.
He was. I'm a fan.
you could
Mayor, what is
definitely
it?
tell
Wood-
he was.
Wood? What's his name? Mayor what?
Mayor Roots.
Roots. That I knew there was two O's.
Yes, Mayor Roots of Chester. Thank you
Yes,
again to
yes.
Mayor Roots for coming out to the show last night. And good
Absolutely.
to have the support of the town that the promotion's in. Always a good thing. So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
but going back to Blackout, they got challenged, and they got challenged in a big way. GQ came out, and he brought out a very special tag team partner for himself.
I would
So-
just like to say real quick that if Robbie
Yes.
didn't open up his big mouth, which yes, I know that's never not going to happen where he doesn't open his big mouth, he could have avoided some damage here that occurs during this match.
Definitely could have. But hey, GQ called in the big bull, the Buffalo, Hank from Buffalo Wild Wings. BJ, did you ever think that you would see a buffalo in the ring?
I mean, the indies nowadays, stranger things do happen. I mean, look at JCW Lunacy.
That's fair. That is fair.
But no, I never thought in an SPO ring I would see a giant buffalo, a human-shaped buffalo.
DJ,
And,
have you ever
the
seen
mayor-
an ascot wrestle?
I mean, I feel like I've seen it watching like wrestling on other things. I didn't think I'd ever see a buffalo, but I mean, I've seen the Colonel super kick a chicken and win a match. So, but
Yeah.
there's been weirder out there, you know. I
There
mean,
has.
we've seen Sami Zayn at WrestleMania get slapped with a giant hand. Which rumor
That is
has it
true,
that's
too.
Mae Young's hand that she gave birth to. So
Ooh. Oh God, let's just move back to this match in SPO. Let's
I
get away
have no
from all
idea
that.
what he's talking about.
Yeah. So
Be
back
thankful.
to GQ and Hank. They weren't the
Yeah.
only ones that were out there in this match, though. They got a
Absolutely
little help
not.
as well in the match from one Mr. Dwayne Gilbert.
I never thought I would be 2-3 yards away from Gilbert spearing someone.
That was quite amazing, actually, to see.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, it was definitely a nice surprise.
Yep.
You know.
So
So now,
and then
Hold
Hank
on one second.
also.
How old is Gilbert?
I'm not sure. He's got to be in his
I know he's in his
60s,
70s. I know he's in
70s.
his
Okay.
70s.
Wow. Okay. Looks very good.
I
Moves
saw that
very
the
well
other
for his
day.
age. So
Oh yeah, and still sharp.
he is 65.
65.
Gilbert.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, 65. Okay, I was wrong.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
So we
He
did
still
have
got
an
it.
injury coming out of this match, whether it happened
That's
when
actually
Gilbert hit him or if it happened when he got buffaloed. But Robbie Illuminati apparently had to get helivaced off of the roof of Harrah's to the local medical facility in Philly,
Yeah.
So-
apparently he was back there demanding it. Like,
demanding. Yes. Ambulance isn't good enough. There's no way he's getting taken there in a car. Only a helivac. That was it. He needed to get there immediately, get the best medical care he could. So that way he can get back top form, come back. What do you guys think about this? Do you think he's really just being a crybaby here? Do you think he's really that badly hurt that he needed a helicopter out of there? What's going on here?
I mean, who really knows? He's the only one who really knows, and apparently the doctors at whatever hospital treated him.
It's Robbie. It could be anything.
This is very true. Speaking of could be anything, our next match we had Homicide and Declan Grant facing each other. Now, we did say that this was going to be a test for Declan Grant, and boy, was it ever. BJ,
Yeah.
what did you see out of Declan in this match that gives you hope for his future?
I mean, I was disappointed that I didn't see any dice, but that's all right. I expected it to be a street fight or something along those lines, and it was just a regular match, so that's fine, you know. Yeah, man, I didn't see his celebrity boxing appearance, so the only time I've seen him live has been the last SPO event in July, and
Right.
he showed me that he can not only get into the hardcore stuff, but last night he showed me that he can go. He's got some moves, but the guy, the end of that match made me understand better and confirm what I thought about his last match in SPO.
What is that? What do you mean by that, BJ? Please expand.
If I'm not mistaken, he was in I think it was an STO and tapped out.
The one where he
Where
controversially
Lucky 13.
was
That he had the
So the
thumbtacks in his hands
night.
or whatever.
So the Lucky match, he was saying, "Oh no, I didn't tap. I was trying to shake the thumbtacks out of my hand." This guy is an easy tapper.
Ooh.
That's what I've seen.
Does you think he has a hole in his game that makes it easy to get him into those submission moves?
I mean, definitely more mat work would do wonders for him. I mean, he's got it. He's definitely got it, but that's what I'm saying there. Like the 2 times I've seen him live, he tapped out both times.
Now, Danger Ginger, do you think that Homicide in this match, that was just a factor that Declan Grant was not ever going to be able to get over in the first place?
I think he had a good chance because they're both 2 tough, hard-hitting guys, regardless of size. Declan Grant's somebody who boxes. And in boxing, you're taking constant punishment, just like you are in a wrestling ring. And it's usually to the face, not just the legs or whatever. And there were moments in that match where Homicide worked on that leg, especially that that dragon corkscrew moments before he got put into that STO. And you could see
I forgot about that. He
grabbed
brutal.
That he grabbed his leg immediately. Homicide saw it, smelled blood like a shark, and locked in that STO. And as somebody who has knee problems himself, I'll tell you what, stuff like that has to hurt really bad, especially after having your leg torqued like that more than once in that match. And just that last one looked bad.
Now that I remember, that STO looked horrible. I actually said, "Wow, that didn't look good." Like when it happened.
Like I get the idea of what does it say about him that he's tapped out twice. One is a controversial tap out, so you kind of take that with a grain of salt. Because if he had thumbtacks in his hand, he's just going like this, and his hand wasn't tapping the mat. That was a referee decision to end the match. That might not have been him tapping out. To compare,
ref decision is final.
Yeah,
it may not have been his, but you must respect the stripes.
Learn how to see things actually happening, and maybe that will change one day for you.
From our angle, we couldn't see the thumbtacks in his hand. All we saw was his hand.
Oh no. But I'm just saying, like, if his hand wasn't hitting the mat. But anyway, to get back to the conversation.
No controversy last night. He was obviously.
Oh yeah,
not at all.
But was it him tapping to avoid further injury, to be able to come back and avoid permanent injury to his leg? Because then that's his career. If his leg,
Security was helping him out with the ring, though.
Yeah, Security
did have to help him.
And I even saw him back by the merch tables limping a little bit after his match and everything. So Like, hey, there's nothing wrong if he knows how tough he is. And you know what?
Yeah.
Homicide's a former world champion. Oh, he
We
was the
all know how
first
tough Homicide
SPO world
First
champion.
inaugural SPO champion.
So, and just to be able to say that he went as long as he did, especially if his leg got injured earlier on in that match, that says just as much about him as it does Homicide defeating him.
And Declan Grant, we're looking to see him come back even stronger next time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Who did I
Like,
pick? Or who did you pick rather?
I think I picked Homicide for that.
I also picked Homicide. So
There we go. So now, after this match was over, they got that cleared. We had a very odd character in a Dalton Charles who came out to the ring dressed in all pink getup, some sparkly stuff on his pants, live streaming on whatever social media.
Put me on his live stream without my permission.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he just looked at us. Oh, you guys want to be in our live stream? And he just holds the phone up like this, like, okay, hey guys, how you doing?
He doesn't understand how much he owes me for using my likeness on his live.
Man, I'll take any publicity I can get at this point, you know.
So he proceeds to get in the ring, get a microphone, and call himself Simon Gotch's best friend. Now, you've got to be a crazy person to call yourself Simon Gotch's best friend, unless you actually are Simon Gotch's best friend.
Does Simon Gotch even have a best friend?
And if you are Simon Gotch's best friend,
you're probably not running around saying it.
No, not at all.
Simon Gotch comes out, obviously not this guy's best friend at all, proceeds to just destroy him, throw him right out of the ring. And then
the guy tried to the guy tried to pose for a selfie with him, and he gave him the old
gave him the old heave-ho. And that got us into our match between Simon Gotch and Rick Blade, which, my opinion, this one very well could have been match of the night right here.
If it wasn't for the finish, absolutely.
I think even with the finish, it still has it because that adds to the intrigue going forward.
It does.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So wow. So
we just had it was a great technical match going back and forth both ways. And BJ, you did get called out in this match directly by Rick Blade.
Yeah,
if anybody saw
in the middle of a move. Rick looks over, points directly to BJ and says, "You didn't pick me to win."
Oh, and he was going on about that the entire night. Every time I saw him, he's like, "You're the only one that picked me to win, Danger Ginger."
And you know what? He did.
Well, it turns out you were both wrong because neither of them won. It wound up being a no contest because after this excellent technical match that we had, the rep has to come down and just insert themselves and destroy everything because they're just pissed off because they don't have those belts anymore. So, BJ, Danger Ginger, what do you guys think is going to happen here?
So,
where does this leave us with all of this?
So, I'd like to start with that Simon Gotch and Rick Blade. Amazing match, and anybody who gets in the ring with Simon Gotch and takes that much abuse from him, because it wasn't just the dropping suplexes, it was the submission hold after submission hold, it was the wearing down of Rick Blade in that match. And Rick effing Blade doesn't know how to stay down, and they just were going at it the entire time. And just I gotta give these guys a round of applause for
absolutely.
Do you think part of Rick's energy came from the fact that it was his first time in 20 years wrestling in Philadelphia here, BJ? Do you think that played into it?
I mean, that could have something to do with it. He had adrenaline flowing through him, I'm sure. I mean, that's huge. That's and you know, especially like the legacy he has here in Philadelphia from 20 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some nerves, but I'm sure that adrenaline took that right away as soon as that weak bell rang.
Absolutely.
You guys, that bell was like, it was like someone was holding. It was bad. It wasn't. They must have forgotten.
We'll get a stronger bell.
Yeah. One thing I will say, there was a very moment that actually got me to chuckle during the match, which wasn't Rick Blade coming to BJ mid-match like you didn't pick me, but was when they're fighting outside the ring and right to your guy's left where the seats were clear. Simon Gotch just sits down and just starts giving himself a round of applause and cheering.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that was hilarious.
That was great.
He is a showman. The man is a showman. He
Yeah.
gives the audience everything they want and more.
WWE
An
releasing
absolute
this
gentleman.
guy was an absolute mistake.
Any company releasing this guy is a mistake. Doesn't matter how
Oh, yeah.
big or small. You want Simon Gotch
No.
around. The man
But-
is a
And I don't
stud. You
know-
saw him up close last night. He is the genuine article.
Yes.
He's
Now,
even better in person. than
and
on
now
TV.
getting to the end of the match with the rep coming out, interfering, and completely getting this match thrown out, and not letting us
complete no
see
contest.
who the better man is. And now, my question is, what's their beef with them?
Their
They
beef
don't-
is just they don't have the belts.
It
That
is-
is their whole beef.
That is this something that could have to do with the fact that these are two people who
Excuse me.
who are probably friends with the backseats. I mean, Simon Gotch tours with them for JCW, you know, so there's a relationship there. Simon Gotch
Drank
has
his first
appeared.
Fago with the boys.
He's been on Spocast. They've done Trip TV segments together. Is this them their way of calling out the backseats and trying to send a warning shot?
It very well could be. I hadn't thought of that angle to it. But if they are trying to do that, there's probably no two better people they could go after together at one time than Simon Gotch and Rick Blade.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
it seems like since Rick Blade's returned, some form of the high five. Well, speaking of the high, real quick, the high five did not seem like a solidified presence at this show.
They did not for the
yeah,
first
there
time.
was no Dewey, no reference to them at all.
No
And
Jordan
I will
Oliver.
say this just proves my point that no member of that faction group or whatever needs Dewey, that they can go out there and do it on their own. And I will stand on that hill.
Absolutely.
We've seen that the rep can.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
We've
The
seen
rep-
that face can.
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, but yeah, the rep, there was a challenge laid down for the next SPO show, Simon Gotch and Rick Blade against the rep. It
Yep.
seems like it was accepted as well. So it does look like we have that to look forward to at the next SPO show, which we will find out when that is. They did say February they would be going back to Harrow's.
Well,
So,
we don't.
I mean, that's
just
already
waiting on a date there, maybe, but we should be seeing SPO returning to Harrow's in the near future.
I believe it was just announced the next show was in February. I'm not sure there's a location for it yet.
No, I believe they said they're back.
Did
At
they?
Harris in
All right.
February.
I mean, that
Yeah.
place was ruckus, so sometimes it was hard to overhear, you know, all the kids cheering, everybody having a good
Yeah.
time. Just shows how much energy
what a-
there is at these
Yeah.
events.
That turnout was more people than I've seen at probably more people than I've seen at the first three shows combined.
It was quite the crowd there
I mean-
last night. Very raucous.
Yeah.
So moving on from the previous SPO champs to the current SPO tag team champs, we got the backseat
Yeah,
boys
we got a little
coming to the-
surprise.
Yes, yes, we did.
Against, I'm guessing, up and comers, the
Up
post
and
game.
coming post game, they did prove themselves game to take on the challenge of the backseat boys. However, not quite up to the level of the boys.
Yeah, they definitely
I
didn't
thought it
have
was
a
going to
good.
be a squash. They hung in there more. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but it wasn't a really good post game for them.
No, absolutely not. I thought it was going to be a squash. They lasted like a good 5 minutes. So good for them.
Danger
Oh.
Ginger. Obviously, the backseat boys, current SPO champs, they won them off of the rep. It wasn't actually at an SPO show where they
It was at the Win show before they left to go on tour with JCW. So, hey, you know what? They got those titles back. The rep won a rematch, you know, and they'll probably get it at some point. But the backseats, looked exactly how they should. They looked in form, especially coming off a 10-day straight tour with JCW.
With like a day and a half off.
Yeah, and some of those shows were they pulled double duty doing battle royals because we all know JCW loves battle royals.
Who doesn't love a good battle royal, though?
Right.
I mean, that's fair. But I give the post game credit that they
whoop, whoop, by the way.
Yes, whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
That they hung in there with the current SPO tag team champions and current JCW tag team champions. They really proved that one day they're going to belong in that spotlight. That spotlight just isn't yet. It's not their time.
What did you see that shows you that they will belong in that spotlight?
That aggression. Like
I didn't see much.
They came out with something to prove. Like when you're nobody, right? Literally, I was asking them, "Who are you?" And they attacked the back seats to ring the bell while they were standing on the corners. Like they jumped. That's coming out with something to prove. That's taking an aggressive side, being the underdogs. Like they had the heads up. Go ahead.
BJ, counterpoint.
My thing with them was just do I forget? Yeah, I forget what I'm saying.
But they showed glimpses.
I got
I'm not saying they're out there and they're the next big thing, right? But
they're obviously not taking on the rep anytime soon and winning.
If they take on the rep, they better be coming out in football pads. That's all I'm saying. But they showed glimpses. They seem like they're figuring themselves out. They're figuring out the whole team thing to where JP and Tommy are brothers. They've literally been a tag team their entire life before they were even wrestling. So, there's much more chemistry there than there would be with two guys who look like they're just figuring out everything. So, hey, hopefully we get to see them again and they have a better showing the next time around.
I would be happy not seeing them again, but whatever.
At least this time we'll know who they are.
Yes. I'll forget by then.
Moving on to
let's not sleep on how amazing of a performance the backseats had. They look sharp as ever for having a day and a half off after that 10-day tour where they're double booked for a lot of those nights. They looked amazing. They looked like I've never seen them look better.
Yes, also the new theme song.
Yes, the new
it's so fitting to them. Like it's perfect.
That 90s boy band feel to it. Just
like perfect. And the masks.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. The Juggalo mask that they came out in.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the guy who did the masks actually posted it on his Facebook page and everything. And absolutely great job. I am sorry I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but those things were absolutely amazing to see them wearing out, and they're them repping both the SPO and JCW tag team championships.
Yeah, those belts look really good on the back seats, gotta say.
Oh yeah, they do.
Absolutely.
So moving from the
tag
champs,
I just wanted to give the back seats their props and not talk about their lame opponents.
The tag team champs. Let's move it on to the.
I don't have any graphic to throw up.
Let's move along to our main event. Pat Dynamite, #1 contender.
This is the best I can do for you.
There we are.
There we go.
Yes. So we move on. Pat Dynamite, #1 contender. We got some good news earlier in the week. Tiny's back. So yay, Tiny.
I like to give a quick shout out to Tiny for orchestrating his escape plan. I just have one question. When he wrote the letter to Pat Dynamite, I want to know how he got to send from the toilet at the house he was being held at back home to the toilet where Pat Dynamite found it. All right. That is the $1 million question.
Dogs have ways. Dogs have ways. No need to question the ways of dogs.
Yes, in this case there is. But anyway, I am very happy that Tiny is finally free.
Yes, free of the clutches of the high five, and also free of the clutches of the high five. It seems the feral face, the champion,
Yeah,
taking on Pat Dynamite in this defense of his
coming out
title,
all alone.
all
No, yeah,
alone.
no hot,
Nobody
no,
came out at
no
all. No
rep,
Dewey, no Rep, no Channing Decker, no Jordan Oliver, no nobody. Face all by himself, one on one.
and no
Danger,
nonsense.
no
No,
nonsense.
no, that match was exactly what I expected it to be. And when we did
That
the
match was an
prediction
absolute
show,
banger.
I said it was a coin flip for me. Like, I wanted to pick Pat Dynamite. And he even confronted me on the fact that I did not pick him to win this match. And
Yeah, I
even
went with my heart.
he kind of blamed me a little bit too, you know. But I'll take
At least he
that.
didn't do it publicly,
Would
or
you say
like
you
in a
snatched a little
match.
bit of his soul there?
Not purposely,
Taking
but
souls a little bit at a time.
But wow, did he really prove his toughness?
Oh, absolutely.
Like as I said in the prediction show, going up against Face is going up against somebody who, no matter how hard you hit him, he's just going to keep stepping into it. He's
It's right there in his name. He's feral. He is
Yeah,
the feral face.
like-
He is wild. He is just going to be that wild animal and come at you and not
Yeah.
stop unless you stop him. Unfortunately for Pat, he just was not able to stop Face last night. BJ,
Yeah.
what do you think it's going to take to stop Face?
I thought
Tank?
Pat would have what it was going to take, but apparently he wasn't ready.
Let's make this clear real quick. Pat hit Face with everything he had in his arsenal.
Did.
He hit him with his finish. He hit him with everything, and it just shows that toughness of Face. Like, you have to go far and beyond the Call of Duty to put that man down.
We saw what it
I
took
don't
Johnny
think he
to
can
do.
be. Yeah, I don't think he can be beat in a one-on-one match right now in SPO in a one-on-one fair match. I think there's got to be stipulations. There's got to be weapons. That's the only way you're going to be able to get through.
I would even say if when him and Johnny had their match, if it wasn't a death match, I would still say Johnny would still have a chance to win that match, but that's because of his history going up against
That's
guys.
Johnny.
Yeah, but
That's
no.
Johnny,
But
Johnny's
now
been the
look
champion before.
Yeah, he's been a champion before, and he's lived that death match style.
That too, yeah.
But Pat Dynamite he showed he has what it takes. He is a future champion. Could he come back eventually and re-challenge Face and beat him? Absolutely. Because now he's going to go in there with a blueprint from this last match they had. And I would love to see a rematch. This is another one. Run it back one more time.
Pat's a smart kid. He'll definitely learn.
And you know what? This is his first loss in SPO.
Yes.
So what is he? 6-1 now? 5-1? Something along those lines. Like, hey, now this is even a learning experience, which I don't think he made a mistake in that match.
So
as much as I want to see the gold on Pat at some point, like, and it will happen. It will happen. Like, I'd rather see who else is going to step up. You know what I mean? I'm not down with the auto rematch thing.
That brings up an interesting question now. Who do you think is next to step up and challenge Face for that SPO title?
I would have made a case if we had a winner from Simon Gotch and Rick Blade. I might have made a case for that just because of the fact of high-profile names, and that match really did show a lot. But who could be next? I almost want to say that if Johnny wasn't the silver champion, having that one pinfall victory over Face.
Well, what do you think of? Is there a possibility of a rematch between Johnny and Face? Maybe a silver versus gold championship match,
and crown a double champion?
That's always a possibility.
I don't know, because Face had that championship. Maybe it's time to let Brand. I would love to see the rematch. Let's not get that wrong. Somewhere's down the line, but this is another one that you don't want to
see
do
someone
soon.
else come in.
Yeah.
Someone else, a new blood challenge for the title.
I mean, maybe Homicide and Face.
Homicide's a good shout.
He is the first champion. He would be a hell of a test for Face. Because Homicide's his veteran presence, just everything he knows, everything that's going on inside of that head that he could bring to the table. You could almost say he is the next level of what Face is as an evolution. Maybe
Face doesn't even look like he knows what pain is. In all honesty, like you see him
get way.
Is it good though? Who's it good for? Him? Yeah. It's not good for his opponent, that's for sure.
No, it's definitely not good for his opponent when he can just keep going and not feel a damn thing that you're doing to him.
But there is a plethora of competition out there for him.
Absolutely, there is.
Now, there's also something to be said that I say Homicide. There's another name to throw out there, and that's Channing Decker. If he ever makes his way back, after everything he's doing,
there's another. Yeah, that's a championship change that we also didn't get to see on a SPO show.
Well, we've got to see.
We're not going to ever see. We're never going to see that egomaniac again.
I hope we do. I hope he makes a return at some point because I feel like he still has unfinished business. Even if it's
not personal unfinished business with him too, I think.
But just the way that the title was taken off of him in that match. And if you go back and watch TV, the very end of that match, you quickly see Johnny come in and do something that distracts Decker long enough for Face to pick up the win and get that championship. There is something there. Channing Decker has other obligations right now, but I think eventually he makes his way back around. Even if it's just to tie up loose ends, which may include fully separating himself from the high five, because as I've said, it was anybody in that group that didn't need anybody there. It was Channing Decker.
Is there even a high five anymore?
Yeah,
that is a good question.
We didn't see Dewey. We did not see the three the three guys from the high five there and come out all together or show any support the entire time. And these are all guys, just to put into a perspective, that kidnapped Pat Dynamite's dog. And these guys just let Face go out there alone. Now, would somebody come out to help Pat? Probably. But, still, the fact that there was nothing that resembled them being the faction that they were and being in control.
No. Also, Jordan Oliver, get well soon, you jerk.
Yes. And please keep coming up with great Mother Goose stories about ninjas attacking you with the back seats, all right?
Well, that takes us through the entire show. It was absolutely an entertaining card top to bottom.
Without it, not just that, the environment around the place, like there was energy during the intermission, during the before the show, there was energy there. People were hyped. People were met some amazing people. Had a great conversation with Simon Gotch.
Shout out to the Nightmare Crew.
Shout out.
And he is shout out to the Nightmare Crew.
Yes.
Eddie, my man.
I do have a question for you guys though. What was your match of the night?
I've got Simon Gotch Rick Blade. Even with the finish, the way it happened, that match itself, it was from start till the rep came in. That match was just a technical masterpiece.
And that match didn't look like it was near ending when they came out.
Not at all. The only reason that ended was because
they might have been in like the 5th inning of that match.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my match of the night, at least. What do you got, BJ?
No, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. The finish wasn't the best, but at the same time, I mean, it was just a technical masterpiece. And with a little bit of brawling in there.
So you're not just saying this was match of the night as an apology to Rick Blade for not picking him?
Oh, that is a very
I wasn't wrong. I wasn't
You
wrong.
weren't. You were not, as it
But
turned
no,
out.
I talked to him after. No hard feelings. He just
Danger
knew.
Ginger, what
he
about
just-
you?
he-
What was
he-
your?
He heard what my perspective and why I thought he was going to lose.
He is a rational man.
Ring rust.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Anyway, go on.
I usually like to be the oddball out in situations. Pat Dynamite and Face, great match. That match really showed what SPL has to offer at a main event level. We
Yes.
saw
That's my number 2.
Mhm.
Again, another honorable mention being Tasha Steelz and Christina Marie. Like, they put on a
that's my
hell
number
of
3.
a match.
Yeah,
But
Tasha impressed
I have to agree with you guys 100% that Rick Blade and Simon Gotch, Simon got, they just stole the show. Rick Blade showed me something
Absolutely.
I wasn't expecting, because remember, I said that this was going to be an uphill battle for him. This battle was not going to be easy against somebody who's been out wrestling for the last week and a half straight. And I think he had match possibly before this show. So it's to say, if he's just wrestling straight through, and to go out there and still put on that level of competition against somebody that's just that much of an oiled machine in the ring, like,
Yeah.
you can't help but sit there and be like, that's the match of the night. Now, I just wish that we had a winner. My moment of the night, if I was to pick a specific moment, though, is Gilbert coming out and hitting a spear in that ring and getting to see it live.
That was amazing. My favorite moment, which is something I'm surprised we didn't touch on during the last match, was when this guy took a bump.
Yeah.
What can I say? Yeah, Face happened to come out of the ring. Pat Dynamite jumps over onto Face, and Face lands in my lap. What you gonna do?
I mean,
With Dynamite on top of him.
Yeah. Hey. Well, I'm tough. I'm good.
We also forgot to
quick little
mention
bump there.
during the tag team street fight, you had Homeless Vaughn laying on you. Boy, that must have been a
after
situation.
the win, Homeless Vaughn got his first win. I let him know that he got the first win, and he laid down to take a nap across my lap.
Like,
and you know what? He must have showered lately because he did not smell bad at all.
He did not smell homeless at all. I was quite pleasantly surprised by that.
The casino must have been nice to let him use a shower in the room, I guess.
Very nice of them.
That's it. Yep. Yeah.
Very nice of them.
But overall, the energy of this show was absolutely amazing, from top to bottom, and from everybody working the door and operating cameras,
That's right.
announcers, everything from top to bottom was very well done. It was an excellent job. I think the best SPO show yet, and I feel like I say that after every one of their shows.
Well, that's just because they keep building and building and building. Just building up, building in the right direction.
Keeps getting better. The venue keeps getting better. The talent that they can bring in from other places keeps getting better. SPO is on the way up, and I can't see a ceiling at this point. I can't wait for SPO in 2025, and I might not even have to. There might be another SPO show by the end of the year, but I know nothing about that. I just heard some speculation.
I would love it if there was.
Rumors. So while we're speculating and stuff, after the first year of SPO, where do you see SPO a year from now if we are sitting here having this conversation?
I would love
on Triller.
I would love to see that. I hope that SPO can get to that level that quickly. I would not mind it being a slower build than that, though. You don't want to go too quickly and overreach, and that's where trouble can start to bring in. You don't want to go beyond your grasp of what you can actually hold on to. You want to be able to be calculated in your approach to it. You want to have the right type of expansion.
Yes.
You don't want to go too quickly.
I do have something I'd like to say I would love to will into the universe, is that if there's ever another deathmatch show anytime soon, I would love to see SPO run the 2300 arena. I just want to put that into the universe.
Yes.
Because
that's what I was hoping this show would be.
Yes, we all had that.
That's the dream in Philly. That is the dream location in Philly.
Especially given the history.
I don't know. Harris was great.
But
Harris was great.
But look at the history of the guys who we've seen who wrestled in that venue.
Oh yeah.
The history there, and for SPO, even it was just a one-off. And it was something so special it can only happen once. And just for that would be absolutely amazing.
Oh,
it would.
Like
it
that
would be amazing.
That's the big time, and that's just something
that's a goal to aspire to for SPO.
Yes, and
I believe they'll get there. I believe 2300 will host a SPO show at some point.
Like I said, I just want to put it into the universe now so we can start marinating and let them seeds get planted.
Well, boys, on that note,
I don't want to take up.
I think we've covered just about everything. Yeah, we've covered pretty much everything for the evening here. I think it's about time to take it home.
So I do.
Hey guys, everyone.
Go ahead, BJ.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, hopefully our next show will actually be on our channel. Had some technical difficulties with stuff.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Technical difficulties be damned. We made it.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to be hitting the ground hard and running with that channel very soon. We'll send you all the links. You'll see it on social media and everything. There'll be content soon.
And did anything else further SPO? Tune into the Johnny Cashmere Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube page on Tuesday night at 7 for SPOcast, where we'll get an update on Robbie's injury and other things, other fallout from the show. So
anything we might have not touched on.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the really insider information comes from the SPO.
Right.
So make sure you're there 7 o'clock on Tuesday night on SPO Wrestling's YouTube channel.
Definitely go check out the SPO Wrestling Instagram and all their social media pages if you want to know more stuff. I saw that some interviews were posted in their stories and stuff. So, which a lot of that we might see on SPOcast as well. But I'm really looking forward to that. Anybody got anything else?
Yes, I do. Follow the Danger Ginger 1 on Instagram. Follow Chef the Ref on Instagram. Follow me, BJ Drinks Beer, on Instagram. I'm also on YouTube and Facebook under the same name, and I'll be hitting the street hard with the on the social media with the new channel links and everything. So follow us all. Drop a like.
I have a link tree,
all that good stuff
on my Instagram. You click on that, it'll take you to a link from my YouTube page.
I got to do that
for the BJ and DG Talks Wrestling page, and anything else Danger Ginger related at the moment.
All right, boys. I think that does it for us for the evening.
Great presentation from the Danger Ginger crew, gentlemen. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you,
and
everybody.
I must say, unless I can get Molyneux, you're hired.
Sounds great.
Or Nick Shin. If I can get Nick Shin, never mind.
Well, yeah. He's the top indie ref, man. Shout outs to him, man. Absolute amazing guy. I had a moment to speak with him.
And Jason Feinberg, both excellent referees. Thank you for all that you guys do for SPO.
I did say this ref sucks a couple times.
I think he's the head ref as well. I really think Nick Shin should be the head ref. Guys running SPLs, you should probably do something about that. I think you got your head ref roles reversed.
All I have to say is respect the stripes, Danger Ginger.
No.
That's right. Well, that's all we got for this time.
Thank you very much to everybody for watching us. On behalf of SPO Wrestling, cheers. We will see you next time.
Cheers.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, B.
I'm working on it. I kind of want to do this first, though.
Come on. I'm about to say, we got to do another dance or something, you know?
There we go.
Some sort of BJ voodoo.
All right.